So Steven Crowder has finally broken his silence about the future of the Mug Club and his daytime production. And essentially, it seems that he has learned a lesson that I personally have been paying attention to for a while. And it's not like, oh, like, and I told you so type of thing. Just an observation that I'm going to share my thoughts on and see how people feel about it. But, he made the announcement that essentially the conservative media corporations that he has reached out to ever since his leaving the Blaze media organization have put some less than satisfactory deals out on the table for him. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, from what he's describing there, it kind of sounds like it would be akin to a 360 deal in rap, if you're familiar with those terms, where basically once you sign over the rights on the contract, the entity that you are signed to now basically gets 100% of the profit from all of your any economic endeavors that are attached to your name involving media, meaning, and beyond that, as far as like the like merchandising, branding, media, all of that. Basically, they get the pot and then you get your cut on the back end. And he seems to be a little shocked by this, and he seems to be coming at it from a perspective trying to appeal to the better nature of humans, which is always a laughable direction to come from, to be honest with you. But, he's saying that, these conservatives are in bed with big media that is promoting leftist ideals and agendas, things like the very platform that I'm speaking to you on, the things that Steven Crowder and the like claim to be fighting against. He feels betrayed by the conservative community, essentially. Those who have more power, influence, and money than him in the world of, conservative media. He feels like they're not putting their best foot forward to actually interrupt the things that they claim to be against politically. And all I have to say about that is, welcome to business. In all facets of business and economics, everybody, to some degree, sets aside their personal beliefs, thoughts, and opinions in order to make an economic sacrifice or an economic decision, really an economic gain. They make an emotional sacrifice. The world of political media is unique because the product is the moral position, right? So I understand why in his heart he would say, well, if this is what you guys claim to believe and the type of media that I make is the kind of media that you would support, you think that you would actually be promoting that. And some of the things that he listed off, along with, the business side of it, meaning who gets the money and stuff like that. A few other things that he was detailing are stipulations that would basically penalize the person who is contracted by the media corporation if they get penalized by any other social media platform, meaning that you would be fined by your contracted media organization if, say, YouTube removes one of your videos and gives you a strike and demonetizes the video. You would be penalized not only, of course, by YouTube, but then by your parent company that you're contracted to that distributes your media. That's a no-no. And I definitely agree with what he's saying. And I definitely appreciate that he's encouraging young people to read their contracts, because once you sign on to a BS contract, I have no words for you except for sorry that you did that to yourself. But anybody who hasn't signed on to them yet has all of the potential in the world. And yes, I would have all of the words in the world to make sure that they were fully equipped in order to come into those kind of business conversations appropriately. I am not trying to claim that I'm the person who you would speak to about that kind of situation, because as you can see, my YouTube following is very low. So I am not a media mogul. or an expert in media business economics. So I'm only giving my 2 cents based off of what I have absorbed. I can say that even though I don't have a lot of successful personal endeavors, I clearly, from the wide range of things that I talk about and make these videos about, consume a lot of different types of media and do pay a lot of attention to the background of how a lot of those organizations are run, just out of sheer fascination with how this kind of stuff gets done. So, with all of that being said, this is just me giving my perspective on it. Now, this is my answer to Steven's gripes, for lack of a better term. And really, what I would say to you, sir, that you need to understand that there is a bifurcation in what is modern day conservatism. I am not a conservative. I've said that on many, many different videos here. I am also not a liberal. I am going to seize this opportunity to say something that I love to say. Both of those labels are stupid and outdated. The truth of the matter is that any good human being below the age of 35, worth their weight in salt, has an element of conservatism and an element of liberalism to them. I'm talking about the ones who, in my opinion now, are most suitable for benefiting mankind. You have to have a little bit of both. Steven Crowder has liberalism in his taking, let me tell you something. Him taking a foldable table, going to universities across the country, setting it up and filming polite discourse and debate with people who have differing opinions than him across the nation is liberal, even if he's espousing conservative ideals. Does that make sense? Going like from college, university, touring, having debates with people is pretty liberal. Conservatives in that nature would kind of, be conservative. They would be, hey, if you want to believe that, you go over there and we hold our boundaries over here and there's not really much room for discourse. Do you see where I'm getting at here? So a person like Steven Crowder is a conservative by all measure. You'd say 90% of what would be considered traditional conservative beliefs and ideals he would agree with. But the liberalism in him, that percent splits him away from the conservative establishment. And they don't like that. They're not willing to risk 1%. Likewise, obviously on the opposite end, the most radical liberals that we have, the far left as we like to call them or term them, would not want an ounce of restriction. And if you offer an ounce or show an ounce of restrictive thought, then you are a bigot, an extremist, a right wing, an oppressive person, a member of the patriarchy, one of many other terms. You see how that they're forcing us into this middle. But being a moderate is not, everybody is moderate. So that's why that term is stupid as well. I'm going to be very frank here. It's stupid to call yourself a moderate because it means nothing now. I'm in the middle. Middle of what? Middle of what? Middle of abortion? Do you know how much space there is in between yes abortion and no abortion? So when you're in the middle of that, you could be that's like the distance between where I'm standing right now in Tampa, Florida, and Kathmandu. Me standing anywhere in between here and there and saying that I'm moderately between Kathmandu and Tampa. That is the vast differential between yes abortion and no abortion. And it's like that with most of the modern issues that we talk about. Energy and climate change. Name one person who's on the conservative side who is completely in disbelief and denial about climate change in totality. Name one. Name one person who says, I don't care, more coal, up it, and let's just destroy the world, cut all the trees down. No, it's usually somewhere in between, like, yeah, the environment is an issue and we do need to make sure that we maintain and are conscious of these kind of things while we continue to make the best economic decisions for people. Is there anybody going more extreme than that? Only the people who don't give a damn about anybody, right? I.e. the people that Steven Crowder is trying to separate himself in the conservative group from. Well, news to you, buddy. Liberals, conservatives, the people who created those terms, or at least the people who have hijacked them, because I'm sure the people who actually created those terms had something in mind in the future that was not this. But it's been hijacked from both ends. We, the people, realizing that, have so much power to do something about that. As long as we sit there and stop representing colors of people who hate you. Dude, I've seen this time and time again. Tim Pool, who is not conservative but makes pretty conservative media for whatever. He's a moderate, but he makes pretty conservative media. All right. Steven Crowder, conservative media. The Daily Wire's members, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, all of them. Conservative media. What do they tell you? Stop giving your money to people who hate you. What if I told all of these people that the conservatives, the conservative establishment and the neoconservatives who are working together with all those Democrats don't like you either? The ones who have the money, the ones who are in power, the ones who are part of this globalist economic forum, they hate you. Why are you giving them your money? Why are you telling us where to put our money and you're giving money to these people, or allowing them to make money, which is another method of giving them money, when you could have a smaller business that doesn't give them money or takes money away from them, but you have to work harder? Why are you giving money to people who hate you, conservative media? Stop.